Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Monday, August 5th, 2019. Hey, gang, on the heels of our roundtable discussion last night, I'd like to say first off, Ellie wanted to join us, but for technical reasons, she could not. And we just love Ellie, and she's been requested by many of our commenters to have Ellie back on a podcast. Her insights are invaluable. Her research skills are just top notch, and we love her to death. And we promise she will be on another roundtable discussion soon. So fear not. So that's what happened last night with not having Ellie on the roundtable. But I did want to expand a bit on that podcast last night. I know there's a lot of financial news right now, and warnings, dire danger Will Robinson warnings in the financial markets right now that I need to explain, but I want to finish up on this gun thing. Trump calls for red flag laws to stop dangerous individuals from buying guns. Shame on you, Mr. President. Shame on you. It is my God-given right in the Second Amendment of the Constitution is the right to bear arms, and it shall not be infringed. Let me explain to you guys what red flag laws are, for those of you who are not understanding. Now, it encompasses a lot of things, but the easiest way to describe red flag laws is basically if your neighbor should go to your local sheriff or police department and claim, well, or say to the sheriff or the police, hey, listen, my neighbor has some pretty radical political views, and he owns a lot of guns. He does not like President Trump, or he doesn't like Obama, and he's always out there practicing, honing his skills in his backyard. Or in the rural areas here in Missouri, you can do that. And so then the sheriff's office, the police department, make a decision to take away your guns. They come to your house and they take all your guns, and they also will, in some cases, actually talk to FBI and gun stores and make sure they get all the guns that you have purchased. So that is an example of a red flag law. That is ridiculous. Now, I realize that most shooters have some pretty extreme views, but they are definitely not aligned with the right side of the political equation. Now, this gets controversial, but I'm going to submit to you guys, okay, first of all, I've already established that President Trump is a liar. We all know this. Some people will say, well, yeah, he's a liar, but, all the presidents are. But I submit to you, he may be one of the most dangerous liars that we have ever had in the Oval Office, and I'll explain why. Trump has been lying about how great the economy is. And now I understand that if he were to tell the truth about the economy, it may cause a certain level of panic. But at the very least, the people of the United States could start preparing for hard times, getting extra food, getting into hard assets like gold and silver. You could even, hedge that a little bit with speculative assets such as cryptocurrencies. Getting a gun is probably a good idea if you don't have one. These are things that people will not prepare for when they're under the impression that the economy is freaking awesome. So why would Trump lie? It's because he's representing the one percenters. It's more important that they get out of the market at the top, and that's why he lies. So he wants to make sure the rich, the ultra rich, stay rich. That is my opinion of why he is lying about our economy. Now, I have called him out on his lies, and I've caught some crap for that, and that's okay. Once again, this is my opinion. that Trump is a liar. Others may say, well, the economy's awesome. I strongly disagree. There is way, way, way too much evidence to point that we are about to go into something very, very ugly in the economy. And the numbers are fixed, and the fraudulent data coming out of the Federal Reserve as well as the Congressional Budget Office. I'm not going to go into that right now. I don't want to make this about money right now. And even though I need to do another one very soon, because a lot more very critical data is coming out, I just wanted to give the example of why Trump's a liar. But now he is looking at gun confiscation. That's what red flag laws are. It's another way of saying gun confiscation, which is something you don't want to do in the United States of America. People, especially in the Midwest and the South, or we're protected here in Missouri. Red flag laws, I don't think will apply here, and I'll do a podcast about that very soon. But I want to include a couple of people on that one. But I want to tell you that this is heading down a very, very dangerous path because of these mass shootings that have happened in the last week. Red flag laws, are not the way to go. But why would we do red flag laws? Why would we do confiscation? Well, that goes into this story here, and it touches on something that I talked about in a podcast last week. The FBI faces skepticism over its anti-domestic terror efforts. Well, of course it does. It lets these things happen. We have electronic surveillance here, my friends, and it's not helping. That's because the FBI is not acting on this information. Okay, example. You're on Facebook. You're a Satanist and a communist, and you hate people, and you hate Trump, and you hate, the world. So you keep saying these kinds of things on Facebook. Plus, you talk about your love of weaponry and how much you want everyone around you to die. Okay? Well, that's what we've been getting from these guys, that all these mass shooters. And by the way, these mass shooters do not identify as conservative. They just don't. The vast majority of them actually identify as communists, Democrats, socialists, Satanists. That's what they identify as. So why am I bringing up the FBI now? Because the FBI literally brought in the Nazis through Operation Paperclip to show them how to do gun confiscation. But you have to get the people behind it in the United States. It's different. It's different than it was in Germany, because we have the Second Amendment enshrined in the Constitution, a right given to us by our Creator. So it's different here. But this is what's coming. Red flag laws. The reason why I'm making this video is because if a new bill comes out, and I will be right on top of it, believe you me, about a red flag law created by Congress, waiting for a signature from the president, or at least being bantied about in Congress. They don't do things on gun laws slowly. They do them very quickly. But they're taking away your God-given rights, and this is why they were given to you by God in the Constitution, is so government couldn't take them away. And taking away guns from people will not stop mass killings, as evidenced in Australia, England, Japan, France, where they use vans to kill hundreds of people sometimes. Sarin gas in Japan, in subways, knives in England. Guys, it is not changing the communists, satanic people. It's not changing their heart to take away guns. So we will still have mass killings if they take away guns. But when they do take away guns, they take away your right to self-defense. That's what they do. And by the way, criminals will still get guns. That would take a long, long time to get out of the system. When you only have a government and law enforcement with guns, and the people do not have guns, you have a very, very ripe situation for totalitarianism. We can't have that here in the United States. We fought totalitarianism to have freedom here. And now we're just embracing it. No. We have to think about this one. We have to think about what they're doing. And we have to think about whether or not all of these mass shootings that are happening recently are somehow all connected to make sure that Trump can get his red flag laws. He took away bump stocks. That was anti-Second Amendment. Trump is anti-Second Amendment, gang. It's time for those of you who like Trump. I understand there's things to like about him. I get that. But it's time for you guys to understand two things about Trump. Number one, he's a liar. I don't, guys, if you need me to prove that again, please put in the comment section. I will do a video on that. He lies about the economy constantly. But he is anti-Second Amendment. And this Trump calling for red flag laws, guys, I don't know that we should support this man anymore. He's lying about the economy. Why is that important? Because when the crap hits the fan and we have a collapse, there's going to be a lot of desperate people out there that believed that Trump was right, that the economy was freaking awesome and there was nothing to do. There was nothing to prepare for because everything's fine. Guys, it's very, very dangerous stuff. And preppers like us are going to be targets for the masses who literally wouldn't listen to the quote-unquote conspiracy theorists about how the bond market was about to collapse. How the stock market was an illusion. How all the numbers coming out from the Federal Reserve... I'm sorry, I got to stop making this about money. I just want to, once again, let you know that President Trump is a liar, and he is also anti-Second Amendment. 2 strikes. And then you might even say a third strike with this trade war, because it's now a currency war. And it almost seems like he did that on purpose. 3 strikes. He's doing a lot of very, very, very uncomfortable things with American politics right now. And I'm beginning to wonder if Trump is even a conservative at all, in any regard. So, once again, I will give him credit where credit is due. We don't have any new wars under this man, under President Trump. But we do have him calling for red flag laws. Gun confiscation, folks. For those of you who like Trump, think about this. Please, I'm begging you, think about this. Gun confiscation under a Republican president. Gun confiscation. Currency wars. A collapsing economy. Now, it's not Trump's fault that the economy is collapsing, but it will be his fault when a lot of people are caught unprepared. And then the violence really begins, my friends. Trust me. Prepare. I'll get another financial video out very soon, I promise, because there's a lot going on. But I just wanted to impress upon you guys that this thing with these mass shootings that are happening, and especially so many of them in an 8-day period, 3 of them, very deadly. This is not good. But please, people, please, there's things you can do. There's things we as Americans can do. We have the right to do it. Number 1, buy a firearm. Number 2, train with that firearm. Number 3, get a concealed carry permit. This is all legal in the United States. And if people would do that, these mass shootings would not be as much of a problem. I guarantee you that. Please consider my words on this. There is a mechanism to deal with this kind of stuff. But Americans have become so anti-gun. A lot of them. Now I'm in the Midwest, close to being in the South. And I'll tell you what, Democrats, Republicans alike, they all own guns down here. And they're all pro-gun. Not every single person. I'm just saying as a general rule, people who identify as Democrat, people who identify as Republican, both are likely to own firearms down here. But you go to the West and the East Coast, things change pretty quick. It's a different mentality out there. But what happened in Texas really surprised me. We talked about that on the podcast last night. Why wasn't there a concealed carry holder there? because Texas, it's legal. It's There's a lot of concealed carry holders in Texas. Equally, there's a lot of them in Missouri. Now, I don't know the exact numbers, but last time I saw, I'm almost positive it was over 200,000 concealed carry permits in the state of Missouri. That's a lot of folks, that are packing, that can help prevent these satanic, people from shooting up a crowd. Okay, this is, it's gone on a little bit too long, and I've gotten a little bit too passionate about it, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. If you guys see red flag laws coming out in the form of bills, please call your representatives or Senate, wherever the bill is, and let them know you do not approve. You cannot take away guns. You cannot do this to law-abiding citizens because someone literally says they're suspicious of them. Why? The divisions are so big in America, and there are so many of them. We are so we're just absolutely fractioned up like crazy on our belief systems here, gang, in America. Some people believe one thing, other people believe another thing, and then for some reason they get it in their heads they need to hate people that don't believe what they believe. That's silly. I don't hate people that don't believe what I believe. I try to educate. I explain what my thinking process is. I go through the critical thinking process with people to help them understand why I've come to that conclusion. It's called debate. This is what we do here in America. We talk. We try to persuade people to understand our point of view, our opinion. But this red flag law doesn't make sense on any level with philosophy or psychology. This is literally totalitarianism, gang. If you want totalitarianism in America, then do nothing. It's happening right before your eyes. If you're getting upset with it, do something. Do something. But I'll tell you what, you have a right to bear arms in this country to this date. That may not be the same a year from now or 10 years from now. Right now, you have the right to defend yourself, defend your family. You have the right. And you have the right to conceal carry in many, many states. Exercise that right. Train with that weapon. Become proficient. And then, like me, you may never need it. I have never needed it. Thank God. But if it is needed, I will be there. If I'm in that situation where I can make a difference because there's a mass shooting, I will do everything in my power to stop it. Why not? Evil people must be fought. Must be fought. Police can't get there in time sometimes, gang, as evidenced by many mass shootings in the past. Sometimes it takes the police 5-10 minutes to get out there. That's an eternity when a guy has, an enormous amount of firepower. Okay, I've got to close it up here. You guys, thank you very much for listening to Truth, Money, and Freedom. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your comments are very much loved and appreciated by us. Please do like and share the videos if you so please. And once again, I will have some more information about Missouri gun laws towards the end of this month, at the very latest, the very beginning of September. There are things going on here, and I will report on that. Okay, gang, you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. May God bless each and every one of you.